So we do Google search. How do we find things? We always know we can just do a word and it finds in puppies. Now this here is finding as universal search. It's finding as pictures, web pages and everything like that. On the side here we've got the choice, everything, images, video, news, shopping and more. Let's have a look for something currently trending. At the moment there's a lot of things happening in London. If I do a very general single word search for London, it finds me what it thinks are the best pages. So it finds me Wikipedia, so all the information about London I could need, a map, some images, and then we have some information on Visit London, things to do in London. So the basic premises here is that most people that are typing London are looking at probably going on holiday, maybe finding some information about London, having a look at some pictures. And the adverts on the side here are about getting flights to London, because it knows I'm not in London, and I can have a look at some information here. As we can see down the bottom here, we can already see some news here. So it's found some news, things that are happening in London right now. When I have a look, I say, well, what's happening in the last 24 hours? And it finds me, if we have a look now, it's not all about holidays, it's all about the riots going on in London right now. And some things to do in London, some new stuff to go that happened 14 hours ago. And I can see a preview of the page there. If I hold this one, I can see a preview of the page. So it's going to help me do things like that. If I was looking at some historical information, for example, I wanted to go back, I can click on timeline down here. It shows me how many types of interesting articles about London, it says, over these past years. Now if we go back to the 1500s, I don't think there was much internet in the 1500s, but there's some information about London from the 1500s. So now we've gone right back to specifically looking January in the 1500s. So this is before Australia was even thought of. And what has it got here? It's got some interesting historical data. Let's have a look here. So letters, papers to King Richard III. So that's interesting. So there wasn't web page in the 1500s, there was documents. If we go back and have a look at our search, so the timeline's a very interesting one. If I come back to all results down here, to how we're looking at it here, we think things are, what do people look at in London? I can have a look at images. Once again, it's finding images. We all know that. I can look for particularly red images that have to do with London. And we find the London red buses and the London red telephone boxes. If I want to use one of these in a presentation, I probably need a large one. So by clicking on large here, it gives me the larger photographs that I can use, and I might want to use this one here. Never use the small one. And remember, if you're going to use this in your presentation, you should always reference where you got it from. So we're not going to wait for that to download. That's some simple searching techniques. Using Google. So that's great, but how does it actually know what's a good website? Quite simply, it gives you what the most popular one that it thinks that most people like. How does it know you like it? If I click on it, Google knows I've clicked on that website, and if I don't go back, it assumes I like it. If I do go back, very quickly it goes, oh, that person didn't like that link. Same way if you ask somebody for a lolly, and they said, oh, can I have that one, and you didn't like it, they would know next time not to give you that one. But it's not just you, it's millions of people doing the same thing. So over time you'll see that these change. So that is a simple searching, but there can be other things. How does it know if I type in, so it's trying to find things already and it's telling me that's wrong. It asks me right here, did I mean receipt? It's found me some words that match what I said, but it's asked me, I think you meant this. and I can go and change what I want to look at there. If I was to do this, type in define at the beginning of it, you notice the searches have changed. It is now giving me a dictionary meaning of the word receipt. So I can work some things out. Now earlier I was looking at London. I wonder what time it is in London. If I type in time in London, right here it puts in what time it is right now in London. What about the weather in London? It gives me current right now. So if I'm looking at a story, give me some information like that. Now, what about Fahrenheit? I know I can change here, and it tells me the difference between Fahrenheit. Now, what if I get a measurement that's in something like that? If I say something is 20 inches in centimetres, it tells me here 20 inches equals 50 centimetres. What if I was searching for something and I found 20 UK pounds in Australian dollars? Tells me here 20 British pounds equals 31 Australian dollars. So I can search for stuff and get good information, or I can do other things. Now most people know about maps, so up the top here I can go to maps, and I can search for London. So if I see some news stories, I can find that. I can zoom right in. Should make that. Let's put the guy on a street. And I can actually have a look what that street in London looks like. I can look around. I can move around if I want to. What else? What if I want to read a book about London? So I don't want to go to Google Maps anymore. I'm going to go Google Books. And I'm going to look up a book in London. And here we have a whole lot of books that have news about London. I might want to look at London, places to visit in Google Books. It gives me an idea here. Traveller's Guide, best places to visit in London. It gives me some information about this book. But if I want to have a just look at a book of London, I go to a history of London. It gives me information about the book, reviewing it, telling what people put out this book, and information that I might be interested in. Now some books if I come down here and have a look, if I go for any books about London that have preview, and so this time I'm going to open a book, and because this one has a preview, It actually lets me look in the book and see part of it. Or more importantly, if I have a specific look, I can search within inside that book, and I can have a look at, for a particular word, Thames is the river that runs through London. It shows me the places in that book, and I can have a look at a specific page, gives me information. So this can be used to search inside of books for interesting things or places you might be going.